So I had an interesting question the other day, and it was someone asking about how they change position on the guitar neck. And one interesting thing you can do with a question like that is to turn it around a little bit to start with and ask why. Why would you change position on the guitar neck? And there are probably three reasons why I change position. One is as a musical gesture, so I'm actually incorporating it into the music that I'm playing. The other one is probably the most obvious one, and it's to access the other registers on the guitar, so you're not just stuck down in this lower register, you can reach these high notes as well. And the third one is purely from a mechanical point of view. It's easier to play certain phrases if you move your hand up and down on the neck than it is to stay in one position. So let's break these down a little bit, and I'll go through each one in turn, and then we can talk about the kinds of approaches that I might make in changing position. So the first one, as I say, is as a musical gesture, and the obvious gesture you make when you're changing position is a slide. And an easy way of starting to incorporate these into your own playing, really, I've found, is if we're playing the blues in A, for example, there are certain notes that you bend. And so those tend to be the easiest notes. If you're used to bending a string, those tend to be the easiest notes to slide as well. And you can see there, I've taken this G bend and turned it into a slide. And now I'm in the next position of the blues. But obviously you can do it between any notes. And a useful little exercise is to just work your way up a pair of strings, actually. So if I stayed in A blues, I'd be doing sort of... And just see if you can make your way all the way up the neck just by playing slide on one string and then playing the note on the next string up. So that's the slide. As I say, the other reason to change position is just purely to access other registers. So when you're in any position, you've got access to just over 2 octaves. So for example, you've got G to G in that one position, but if I want to hit that G there, I have to change position, and then there's the D there, which is above the G on the 15th fret. And the only way to reach those notes is to move positions. So a classic way of doing this actually is to start thinking about your playing in terms of phrases and do each phrase in a different position. So for example, actually there you could hear I was using little slides to indicate position changes, which is quite a nice little tool as well to add to your phrasing. So another way of changing position between registers is to use extended scale patterns. So for example, a classic one would be the 4 notes per string pattern, but there are equivalent patterns around pentatonics and things like that, and I'll probably cover these in another week. And then finally, you've got shifting within a phrase as well. For example, there's the keyboard part to Highway Star, which I'll play if we're a 3-piece. And we've got 2 positions. It's starting on a B flat up there and finishing on a D there. And what I'll do here is I'm just descending in groups of 4. So I'll just go a position there, so I'm playing 4 notes on the D string. And then another position on the A string. Just like that. So the final approach that I mentioned was changing position from a mechanical point of view. And these are just purely to make it easier to play. So, for example, I've covered this in previous lessons as well. For example, there's I did a 4 notes and then shift kind of pattern, where so effectively my left hand is doing the same thing over and over again. And that's quite a useful little tool to use to get you moving around the neck. The other classic is to just use open strings or use a consistent pattern and a pattern that you can move around. So all I'm doing there is I'm just sort of using the open string to slur off onto. So that's it really. There's a handful of ways of changing position. As I say, it kind of depends on the context, on what you're trying to achieve in the music that you're playing, and that affects how you change position. But give some of these ideas a go. They may be useful for you. But have fun with them. I will chat next time. Goodbye.